Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bold TV, powered by Bold Hearts Initiative. This program is a program that we have conversations on disability and disability related issues, especially with respect to women and girls with disabilities. We ask that you join the conversation today and feel free to put your comments, to put your own insight into the conversation that we're about to have in the comment section. Bold TV comes to you every Saturday by 10:30 a.m. Today we have an exciting conversation, and it is around amputee awareness. But before I introduce the topic fully, I would like the guests in the house to introduce themselves briefly.
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Amputee Awareness. I am a baker, a disability rights advocate, and Suntech ambassador. Suntech is a prosthetic company that deals with prosthetics for amputees. I am based here in Abuja. Thank you.
Everyone, my name is Nwafo Nweze. I'm based for now in Scotland. I could be anywhere tomorrow or next year. Then right now I am a student. I'm trying to get my master's in corporate communications. And beyond that, I am a customer service expert. I have some experience in mentoring amputees. I am a co-founder of the Amputee Coalition of Nigeria, and I love life, and I want others to love life with me. I have an amputation, it's above knee. I've had it for over 32 years. That's it, thank you.
I'm so happy to be here. My name is Grace Oge Onoha. Most people call me Oge Passion. Yes, and I'm based in Port Harcourt. I am a health and wellness coach. I also coach people on mindset and skill set. And part of the things I do on skill set is that I teach people how to make 6 to 7 figures income from the comfort of their homes. I mean, from the comfort of their bed. As an amputee, as someone with disability, most people will say, I can't do this, I can't do that. But I always give them an opportunity to leverage on the internet using their smartphone. All right, so that's what I do. And I am an amputee, an above knee amputee. And I've been on this journey since the past 7 years. It's almost 7 years. I had my amputation on the 3rd of July, 2015. And I'm a happy person. I'm so excited about life, and I want others to be.
Good morning, everybody, my fellow ladies, online audience, everybody, good morning. I'm Osaki Teresa Georgie. I reside in Port Harcourt, polio survivor. I'm into Microsoft applications, a member of Bold Heart Initiative, work with Fair Care Foundation, and many other things. Thank you very much.
Sure. My name is Oluwatomisin Adeyefa. I'm a visually impaired person based in Abeokuta, Ogun State, capital Southwest Nigeria. I'm a broadcast journalist, a sound engineer, a gender and disability rights advocate, a sexual and reproductive health rights advocate. I also work as a program officer for Angel Wings Global Freedom Foundation. A member of Bold Heart Network. Feels good to be here. Thank you.
All right, so I've said that we have a very interesting topic to speak to today, and that's why we have 3 amazing guests who you see have a common kind or type of disability, and that is they are amputees. Some above the knee, some below the knee. There are different types. And the reason why we're doing this topic or having this conversation today is because in the month of April, yes, I know, it's me, but in the month of April is known all around the world as Limb Loss and Limb Difference Awareness Month. So from the 1st to the 30th of April of every year, across the world, persons who are amputees have serious conversations about limb loss and limb difference. In fact, when I was researching this topic, I was very interested in finding out that there was limb loss and there was limb difference. And we're going to shed a little light on what that means. Is it the same thing or a different thing? So just to put it in the, out there, we're doing this because the month of April, we apologize for being a month late, is the Limb Loss and Limb Difference Awareness Month, an acronym LLLDAM. The theme for this year was Your Ordinary is Extraordinary. I absolutely love that theme because what it does is that it sheds light to let everyone know that the little things you do are crucial in living an extraordinary life. And I think that goes across for any person with a disability. So let's start the conversation with a curious note. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Freki Andresian. I'm here every Saturday. And I'm based in Port Harcourt in River State. I'm the Executive Director of Faker Foundation, member of Bold Hearts Network. I'm also a public health professional, and I use a wheelchair from spinal cord injury. All right, so today we're having a conversation around amputee awareness. So my first question is going to be thrown to Nwafo, and that is to satisfy my curiosity as well as everyone who has heard me introduce limb loss and limb difference. What is the difference between these two terminologies? Is limb loss different from limb difference? If yes, what is it? If it's not, then we know.
Limb loss, you could lose your limb through an accident, a disease, or a traumatic, kind of like for me, it was a domestic accident I had. And a lot of medical brouhaha, it couldn't be solved. And my leg had to be amputated to save me, But limb difference can just be you were born with some differences in your limb. Like some people have like maybe a 30-inch, or let me just say a 10-inch difference between one arm and the other, or between one leg and the other. So you see they will walk, all parts of the leg is there. It's just shorter. One is longer than the other. So there's a difference. For some, you're born with totally missing limbs. Maybe no arms, no leg, your limbs are missing. It doesn't mean that you lost it along the way. You were actually born with that difference. But for the sake of probably convenience, we are all classified kind of same because, the limb is not there or it's not complete.
Wow. They say in life, you learn every day. I've been trying to, I know I could Google it easily, but I just really wanted to hear from the horse's mouth what the difference, is between limb loss or limb difference. So, but I'm curious about something though, and I want to ask Ave. Now, a person who was affected or infected by the polio virus, who now has poliomyelitis, a lot of persons have a difference in their limbs. Could that be referred to as limb difference, so that we can put Osaki with you people?
Thank God. Hello. In fact, you answered your question yourself. You said somebody that was affected by polio and have a difference in the limb. She is a polio survivor and not a limb difference person.
Amazing. So, Osaki, you have been denied entry into this exclusive world. I asked that intentionally because I know that as a result of, the poliomyelitis virus, some persons have their limb affected and then the different sizes come up in shorter and all that. So I'm hoping that the conversation that we've had, both casually and seriously, has helped us to understand that there is a difference. Limb loss refers to you had a limb, whether it is your upper limb or your lower limb, and at a stage, either due to trauma, an accident, cancer, or disease, something, it had to be taken off, and so you lost it. and that refers to limb loss. While limb difference is where a person is born, can be congenital, and there is a difference between the different extremities. So you don't necessarily, you didn't lose it because you never had, that extremity. So, or where a situation where there's a difference in length of limbs or difference in numbers of appendages and things like that. So beautiful, easy conversation to tell us that there is limb loss and there is limb difference. All right, so when the ladies were, telling us about, limb loss and limb difference, some of you gave insight into your own limb loss journey. But I think we just want to share just a little light on what caused, you to be referred to as an amputee today.
Okay, yes. Limb loss or limb difference could either be congenital or acquired. For me, mine was acquired because I became a person with disability through an accident I had sometime in July 2015. And I was not really in a vehicle per se. I was looking so beautiful, catwalking and going to the bank, business as usual. So I was so excited. I had stuff to do. Yeah, so a vehicle hit me from behind. And I think one of my saving grace was that I did not see that vehicle for me. Because if I had seen it, I would have lost hope. But because he came from behind and I was so excited with what I was doing, as in my passions, I was in high spirits, you understand? So the vehicle actually lost control. It's all these dilapidated buses. You know how their buses in the West usually be. I was in Ibadan when that thing happened, and that was like 4 months after NYSC. So I was working at a fashion house, and I used to be the one that normally go to the bank and also to the market to get stuffs for the office, for the shop. So on that fateful day, as usual, I set out and I was very close to the bank. In fact, I finished from the first bank and to the second bank to do a withdrawal. When this vehicle, it doesn't have a brake, hit me from behind. And when it hit me, I passed out. And the vehicle swerved. It flew a big gutter. In fact, it threw me into that big gutter, but I was standing tall, lifeless, facing the road. And the vehicle still hit 2 other persons. So while it was flying, the back tire stuck in the gutter on top of my leg. And that was my saving grace. I don't know how it happened. It happened so fast. But immediately that vehicle, the tire hit me. That was when I regained consciousness and I began to scream for help. And they came, dragged the vehicle out so that they could help me. Fortunately for me, my leg was not caught. Yes, it was still intact. The only issue was that the artery was on my right leg was completely damaged. My leg the bones were still functional. You understand? It was intact. And I had gangrene. So by the time they did the first surgery, they rushed me to the hospital, of course, and they did the first surgery, it failed. And there was no time because the parts that were affected was already coming up and it was deadening. So they had to amputate me. I was supposed to be a below knee amputee, but because the thing affected the back of my knee, I had very serious wounds there. So the professor, the doctor who was in charge, thank God I was in Ibadan and it was easier for me to access medical attention. Yes, so the doctor advised that it be done above the knee so I can be safe from going to the hospital at all times, going to treat wounds, infections, and all of that.
Just like August said, I was not born with a disability. I acquired my disability 19 years ago. And we actually have a kind of a similar story. I was coming back from church. I was knocked down too. I was not in a vehicle. So I was knocked down and I also passed out actually. Very close to the house. It was just An expressway just divides me. If I cross over to the other side, I was just going to my house, just about how many houses away. So it now happened. I was knocked out. I woke up in the hospital with a broken leg, actually, but not too fatal. Maybe by my mere looking at it, not too fatal, but along the line, I was told, I discovered that infection set in, which is called gangrene, and it's a very terrible infection. So the only option was actually amputation. And I actually signed for it because my parents wouldn't sign the document for the amputation because I am meant to understand the anguish they felt, and to them it was kind of a betrayal, them betraying their child or something. So I wanted to be alive. I had to call the doctor to bring me the document. I signed and I went in and I came out. And here am I today, 19 years after, still bubbling life because I love life. I want to be better. I want to make people like me feel better, understand that there is much more to life than them wallowing in whatever situation they found themselves. And I want to also make Amputee understand that 2 legs is overrated. I think 1 leg is better than
we'll do debate.
Well, it's not so much a big gist. I was a child. I was playing with my brother, and you know, those days in the 80s, there is this iron bed, those frames, those thick iron beds, and I hit my knee on it while we were playing. It wasn't a big deal. I continued playing, and you know, life went on for some days, and then I just woke up. You know, in my child's brain, then I don't know how many days had passed, maybe a day, I don't know, and I couldn't put my leg on the floor, on the ground. Apparently, the iron frame had damaged something inside my knee, and we didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't take it serious. So my parents took me to the hospital. The leg was put in a cast, but it was a joint injury. And apparently the hospitals then, probably they don't know how to treat an injury on the joint. So according to what I hear, the doctor bent my knee and placed the cast. So when the cast came off, the knee was in a permanent bent position. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, should he have kept it straight? I don't know. But if you ask me, it was an injury on the knee. I don't think he needed a cast. It wasn't a broken knee. It was something with a ligament, probably. So it was in a permanent bent position. So my parents kept going to hospitals. We went to bone setters. People would come and suggest. We traveled all kinds of places, some villages I have never known, you know, always moving around looking for solution. And eventually the last bone setter we went to used a lot of force to straighten the knee. And it was before now, I'm not going to blame my parents. They had gone to several hospitals, Army Hospital in Kaduna, all kinds of hospitals. Nobody knew how to treat the knee injury. The bone setter straightened it by force, the last person, and broke the blood supply between my upper leg to the lower leg. And of course, this gangrene has turned to our second name. Gangrene sets in, and the leg had to be cut. That was just what happened.
Okay, I'll set the question to Grace. Grace, in the journey of limb loss, what are the obstacles one goes through and how to recover from certain problems?
Obstacles that people who suffer limb loss face, what their challenges. Okay, first of all, this whole disability stuff has to do with your mindset. you need to have the right mindset if you would come out strong, because it's not about your disability. It's about how you take this disability, how you take this ability. Do you understand? There is ability in disability. There is ability in amputees. You understand? Amputees are, let me say, we are special breeds. There's a way we can still cope. I think one of, I don't know how to put it, but I think one of the set of disabilities that some people don't see like they have a disability are amputees. They say we are special breeds. And that's because if you take it positively, you can still do stuff like every other normal human being, especially if you can get an artificial hand or limb to replace, you understand? So it first of all has to do with your mindset, you understand? Like when I was in the hospital, I told myself that I would walk again. At that point in time, I didn't know what I was saying. I didn't even know that people could be amputees. As in, I've never come to this side of the world before. You understand? So I even felt I was the first person who is going through this kind of thing. And you know what they were telling me in the hospital? Most of the people who came to visit me, they say you are special. You are now a special person. I didn't know that there was any special person before. I thought it was because of what happened to me that they were telling me I'm a special person. You understand? So everything was so new to me. But one thing I told myself was that I was going to walk again. You understand? Because then I was using the crutches, you know, movement was restricted. I couldn't do most of the things I would have loved to do. I couldn't go to the places I would go. While in the hospital, I told myself that those opportunities that I would have gone to meet, you understand, to meet up with, because I was hit on the act, that those opportunities would come to me. You know, I was saying all these things on the sick bed, not knowing what I was saying, but I was just positive. You understand? I was just positive that I'm not going to let this amputation get the best part of me. You understand? So I was having a problem with movements. You understand? Most of the things I would want to do, others would have to do it for me. And I'm someone that likes things done the way I want it, not the way you want it. You understand? If this is the way I have envisaged it in my mind, I will keep working on that thing till I get it right. So most times people help you. They just help you, you understand, because they have to help you. But sometimes it doesn't come out well. So sometimes I even prefer to do things myself. I would say the only thing this is going to take me is time. You understand? I will now be motivated. I'm a self-motivated person. I tell myself, okay, you can do this. The only thing is going to take you is time. You understand? And in that way, I have that positive outlook that I would achieve. And you know what happens when you're trying to do those things? Someone out there is coming to also give a helping hand. You understand? So it now becomes encouraging. Or people out there are looking up to you. What's this girl up to? What does she want to do? So you will not want to, let down what you have to put in your best to see that you achieve those things. So mobility was one of the issues for me because I want to do things myself. So I made sure that immediately I left the hospital, I started opting for how to get assistance for people to help me raise funds to get an artificial leg, of which I got that in 2016. And since then, it's been easy for me. But still, I still leverage on technology because most of the things I do are online. And I didn't really have excuses. When people say, I'm someone with disability and I'm an amputee, I can't go to this place, I tell them, no, we are in a digital world, leverage on the digital space. And those were part of the things that made me to pick interest in coaching online.
Well, thank you for the contributions. Just to reiterate what she said that the major obstacle that she had was mobility. And what she did to overcome it was that while she was new on her journey, she began to envision and speak to her mind that it didn't matter what was going on. She was still going to live her life. So that motivated her to, once she left the hospital, to begin to seek how she could gain mobility. And she was able to raise funds to get prosthetics, learn to use it. And also she is leveraging on technology for her business. And second, and lastly, she's taken her mindset coaching further so that others can learn that overcoming obstacles starts with overcoming the barriers in your mind.
Thank you so much. So the next question goes to Mwafo. Looking at your own story of access to good medical services back then, so what can you say right now about medical attention access by people with amputation, the amputees? You know, how easy is it for an amputee right now to access medical services? And I also like to know, after you've been amputated, for instance, are there complications that may arise, or constant pains, or constant reasons why you must see a doctor or an orthopedic regularly? Yeah, so that's like a 2-in-1 question right there for Wapo. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tomison. The thing is, I feel, no, I don't think there's an improvement in the medical access to medicine or medical care by amputees. A lot of above knee amputees are not supposed to have been above knee amputees. They should have been below knee amputees. And below knee, if your amputation is below knee, it's easier for you to have a better quality of life than if you are an above knee amputee. If you have your knee, you know the movement of the leg is with the knee. You control the movement with your knees. So if you don't have your knee and you have an amputation, you have to, part of what you must get in your prosthetic limb or artificial limb is a knee. You understand? And that knee is costly. So to start with, if you're an above knee amputee, your prosthetic limb will cost more because making a new joint is a huge technology and it's expensive. And you don't walk as good as somebody who is below knee. But it is easier in the hospital in some countries for a knee, a wound, an injury above knee. That's, you know, when the limb is severed above knee, it's easier for the hospitals to manage the injury because of the proximity of that injury to the blood supply, that's your heart, than for below knee. So most hospitals, even if you have a small injury that is, you know, needs to be amputated, maybe the amputation should have been above your ankle, they will go above your knee. So no, I don't think the medical care is any better for amputees. That's the truth. So, and then yes, after amputation, there are pains that will warrant you to still go and see therapists. It could be, I think it's mostly physiotherapists. They call them, there are phantom pains. And then there are some pains you can get through your nerves. So mostly physiotherapists are what you will need to help you, you know, take control of those nerves. You know, like, okay, if your leg is amputated, I don't know about hand amputees, but they also feel it. You know, the record of the toes, I don't know how to explain it, but the record of the sensations you get on your toes have been stored somewhere in your brain. So if you're, like when I first lost my leg, I would tell my family, my toes are itching me, scratch my toes. It was horrible. I was a child, they didn't know what to do with me. So, but is the memory of what those nerves there used to feel. Doesn't mean they are there anymore. So you need some form of physiotherapy and some form of care from orthopedics surgeons, orthopedic doctors to know how to handle that. Yes. And also in the area of getting good prosthetic limbs, I don't think Nigeria is there yet. A lot of developing countries are not there yet. The level, the kind of equipment you need as a prosthetic limb can say so much about how much you can do in terms of your mobility. Your movement is restricted if you have a bad prosthetic limb. It's worse for hand amputees because that hand, you need to wash with it. You need to do so many things with it. And if it's not a very good equipment tool, a very good machine, you can't do a lot of those things. Instead, you want to hold a glass cup, you break it. You understand? So no, I don't think there's any improvement. There is some improvement because I believe probably my injury could have been treated now, but it's not a whole lot. There's still a big gap.
Thank you so much for this great insight, and I'm hoping that anybody who is watching out there, especially if you're in the health profession, you can see how quick decisions and quick fixes that may not be informed can affect a person's quality of life in the long run. And there was something that Wafo spoke to where she said that even a person who is now an amputee, if the person has the wrong prosthetic, that in itself can become a disablement for that person, where the person who maybe would have now figured out how to work or live without the limb is now forced to live with a bad prosthetic. And that, I can imagine the extra effort a person would have to put into in being mobile with a bad leg movement, maybe even fling the person and cause the person even more injury. So thanks so much for that insight. And I want to turn this conversation to Ave. Ave, when you were introducing yourself, you did say that you represented an organization. How because she's an ambassador, how your company right now, or what you are an ambassador to, is bridging this gap that Wafo has spoken to, currently in Nigeria.
I'm an ambassador of Suntech Prosthetic Company, and truly speaking, the company is actually doing well, bridging the gap between amputee and what we need to make movement easy for us. So far, I am also using their products, and they are quite reliable, they are durable, and they are also cost effective. Just like Mrs. Nwafo stated, the services we are getting here, it's not good. And if you have a wrong prosthetic, it's going to also be another problem for an amputee, because I have heard a lot of my friends who are amputees use prosthetics that give them infection, that they have to even go back to the hospital for that treatment. And so far, I am enjoying their services, and not because I'm the ambassador. I was made the ambassador just a week. No, tomorrow will make a week. But I have been using their products for months now, and I enjoy their services. They are kind of a home away from my home, because you go to them and they take you as first as a human being before they treat you as a patient, because they make you feel comfortable to air out what your needs are, and they also tell you what they offer and advise you, this is what we fit for you. There are also other companies out there quite okay, but being amputee and getting what it takes for an amputee to move, at least with a kind of ease and comfort, is cost effective. Now I am talking to the general public, who in one way or the other want to help a person with amputation. It's not enough for you to just see that, okay, there's this protective company here, and you just pay money to them. One, you need to make research and know what that company is providing, is offering. So please, if you want to help us, get to us, make research, know the companies that are doing, they are giving a good product. Not everybody is out to serve us. They are just, some of them are just out there to make money from us. So Suntech, it is, I am recommending it for anybody at all, at every given opportunity and time. You can call on Suntech and you will get amazing services.
So if you would like to reach her, you've seen her pictures, you've seen her on Facebook, so you know that she's very active and she moves even without the thing. But yeah, she's very active, climbs rocks, does everything. Sometimes I'm very marveled. I'm like, woo, won't you fall? And she's not pew, 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 pew going. So you can reach out to her after now. If you need to reach out to her and you don't know how to, of course, our email has been flashing ever since, boldheartsnetwork.info@gmail.com. So you can reach out to us. We'll connect you to Ave, we'll connect you to Wafo, and you can have the right conversations. So just to hint on what you said, you want to help a person with disability to get an assisted device. Because disability may present the same as everyone does not mean that it is the same per se. So you would need to work with the person and a health expert to ensure that the assisted device that that person gets is the right one, so that that assisted device does not become its own type of disability. All right. So I'm going to turn the conversation and have Osaki quickly ask another question, and then Tomisen will also ask the question, and we're done.
Okay, thank you very much. This for Wafo. In the spirit of educating the public and most of us, what are the words you say and words you don't use for an amputee? It's not nice for you to refer to people in words or names that you know will make them feel they are disadvantaged in any way. Don't call people helpless. This helpless woman, you don't want to do something for her. This cripple, she cannot walk, she cannot help herself. Those things generally will not be nice. So people shouldn't use those words. Do not use words that make people feel they have no hope in referring to them.
Okay, if you refer to someone, amputee, I'm an amputee. So you don't just go about calling people one-legged, half-leg, you get. And we are so blessed that we have this beautiful name called amputee, you know. So just call me, that amputee girl. I'm more than enough a human being. So why not refer to me as an Ave? Why must you attribute something to me? My name is Betty Ave Aki. So you can just call me, oh, Ave is coming. You must not say that one-leg girl or that amputee. I was Ave before amputee set in, and I am still Ave. Amputee is just a word. Ave is the human in me that do the things I do.
Thank you, Ave. You know, when she was saying one leg, I just remember this dance challenge that is doing in one leg. I don't know why, but that's just, oh my God.
Don't worry, I'm going to do, that's my next, I'm going to do it and I'll drop it online, don't worry.
Nice. I would like to see that video.
I'll drop it online.
Okay, cool. All right. So I know that I said that Tomisen was going to ask the last question because it is the last question. But I just remembered something that I want Wafo to speak to. Wafo is the assistant coordinator of the Amputee Coalition Nigeria. So I feel it's important for her because there are a lot of people, and Oge did refer to the fact that when she just became newly, an amputee, she thought she was alone, and she didn't know that there were other persons like that. So Wafo, in a short stint, just tell us what Amputee Coalition of Nigeria does and how, go ahead, please.
The Amputee Coalition of Nigeria was set up with a vision to create a platform for amputees to come together and relate with each other, and also to mentor those that, you know, you're a new amputee, you don't know how to navigate it. Oge said she didn't even know there was anyone else that was an amputee, to show you we are many and life goes on. This is how to navigate your life from now onwards. And in doing that, we advise people as well about the kind of prosthetic limbs they should seek, how to manage their, you know, their limb, the newly amputated limb, how to make sure the wound is properly healed, how to get your movement back, even with your new your new prosthetic limb, how to, you know, just pick up your life and live it to the fullest.
Awesome. So once again, if you want to reach out to the Amputee Coalition, you can reach out to us. You are not alone. I think that's a watchword. You are not alone. And they will link you to others, so that I think when there's power in seeing others do things, and when you see others doing things, you get motivated and inspired.
Thank you very much. Thank you to our guest appearances today. And I'll just be asking the last questions. And we would like to have your parting shot, more like your last words onto this edition of the show. Any word of advice, any word of encouragement, anything you want to put out there to actually put this on diagram. So I'll start this time with Oge. She gives us our last words, and we'll have Ave and Nwafo will wrap it all up. Thank you very much. Give us your last words, your parting shot on the show. If you have anything you want to add to everything we've been saying this morning, and a word of advice or anything you would like to add.
I want to encourage families out there who have persons with disabilities, who have relations with disabilities, that they should encourage their loved ones with disability. What they need is a little push. Give them a listening ear, encourage them that they can do it. Whatever they want to do, they can do it. They should never be ashamed of their loved ones with a disability. They should never be ashamed of their relations that have a disability. Inside that disability, there is something about that person. If only given attention, they will discover. But if they don't give attention to that person, they will never know that that person has something meaningful in his or herself. So I want to encourage us persons with disability. The journey is not rosy, but it is how you plan your life and how you see your future, where you want to see yourself. If you plan this thing and you work towards it, you will get there. We persons with disabilities, we have this entitlement mentality. We feel that this is supposed to come to us, so it should come to us, even when we don't struggle for it. Please, persons with disabilities, whatever you want to become tomorrow, you have to work for it. There is no free manna anywhere. You have to work for a life you want to live.
For the government, for the general public, acceptance. Acceptance. I have an amputee friend that was posted as a corper to an association, and she was rejected because of her amputation. Imagine what that does to a human being, and know that as a person, it takes a minute. Everybody in this chat, or maybe not everyone, but a lot of us were not born with disabilities. It happened in this life. So it can happen at any point to anyone. So accept, and give us a chance.
Let me start with persons with disabilities or amputees. All I just need to tell you, especially those newly in the amputee family, take it easy on yourself, because I remember when I first had crutches, I put a survivor. I couldn't believe I could work with the crutches, as in, how can I work with this? You understand? So with time, gradually, finally, I started using it. I was enjoying it. So I think that same way with whoever is having a positive. Initially, though, you can't even use it. You can I really do it? But as time goes on, you will, and you will be better and be happy with it. Therefore, the public, don't rush us whenever we're trying to learn to move.
as in a new style or way of movement or change. Don't rush us. Take your time with us while we adjust to the new pattern of life. Thank you.
So just know that it may take you energy and time to come out of your comfort zone, but don't give up. That's what Osaki is saying. Learn to use that new leg, learn to use that new arm, learn it, use it the best way. Except it's a very bad one, then you now go for a review and ensure that you get the proper one. But where you will take it on and you think that at first use it will just be magic, it may not be so. So go ahead and practice with your physio and learn to adjust to the new, the new normal. Yeah, that.
All right, thank you very much, ladies, for this enlightening session. The first time I would ever meet an amputee in my life was, I think in March, March, when I was in Abuja. And, the person was lamenting to me that a lot of us, even as persons with disabilities, we do not understand that it is not just our disability that is called disability. We do not bother to ask about other people's disability, ask how they got it, what they are feeling, what they are going through. All we know is within our own scope of disability. And I'm so happy and privileged to be a part of this session. Thank you, ladies. Keep the flag flying, and I wish you all the best. All I can say is that keep using your limbs, keep living in the new normal, and one day I know that all of this will definitely pay off. Thank you very much once again.
All right. Thank you, Tomisin. And thank you, ladies. Thank you for being on today's show. So there you have it. Today we have spoken on amputee awareness. We brought the conversation deliberately to speak to a specific kind of disability, because disability is an umbrella term that covers different forms of disabilities across board. And today the focus was on limb loss, limb difference, umbrella term being amputation, person referred to as an amputee. And I'm sure that you've learned a lot from their experience sharing, from their words of advice and words of counsel to the different members of society, including persons with disabilities on a general and persons who are living with one form of amputation or the other. And I'm hoping that the conversations today will inspire you to be a better person all around. So this has been Bold TV, powered by Bold Hearts Initiative, coming to you every Saturday by 10:30 a.m. At this point, we'd like to ask that if you would like to sponsor this program, to be a part of the conversation. As you can see, we brought a lot of value this morning by referring you to, for example, the Amputee Coalition, to Suntech, where you can get prosthetic devices, and also to Bold Hearts, which is a form of support network, and connecting you to all and doing a lot of linkage into these other groups. So if you'd like to support us in any way to continue to do this, well, we will continue to do this. But if you'd like to support us, please reach out to any of the co-hosts, that's myself, Osaki, Afyong, Tomisin, or Biose, and we can put you, in the know of how you can support. We're here to continue the conversations on disability and disability-related issues. All right, thank you, Tomisin. And thank you, ladies. Thank you for being on today's show. So there you have it. Today we have spoken on amputee awareness. We brought the conversation deliberately to speak to a specific kind of disability, because disability is an umbrella term that covers different forms of disabilities across board. And today the focus was on limb loss, limb difference, umbrella term being amputation, person referred to as an amputee. And I'm sure that you've learned a lot from their experience sharing, from their words of advice and words of counsel to the different members of society, including persons with disabilities on a general and persons who are living with one form of amputation or the other. And I'm hoping that the conversations today will inspire you to be a better person all around. So this has been Bold TV, powered by Bold Hearts Initiative, coming to you every Saturday by 10:30 a.m. At this point, we'd like to ask that if you would like to sponsor this program, to be a part of the conversation. As you can see, we brought a lot of value this morning by referring you to, for example, the Amputee Coalition, to Suntech, where you can get prosthetic devices, and also to Bold Hearts, which is a form of support network, and connecting you to all and doing a lot of linkage into these other groups. So if you'd like to support us in any way to continue to do this, well, we will continue to do this. But if you'd like to support us, please reach out to any of the co-hosts, that's myself, Osaki, Afyong, Tomisin, or Biose, and we can put you, in the know of how you can support. We're here to continue the conversations on disability and disability-related issues. So until we come your way, same time next week with another exciting episode and another co-host. Take care. Don't find trouble and be good. Ladies, also mute your mic. Let the hi be with smiles and with your voice. Unmute and say bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.